Hey, good morning, everybody. I am back. This is Robert Phoenix, and you are in the digital domain of 15 Minutes of Flame for another morning of, well, somebody said it was drivel the other day, and I got pounced on YouTube because I was charging people to listen to my drivel. And I thought that was interesting because, well, first of all, I don't charge anybody. If you feel like donating to the show, people have, and thank you for doing that. Um, you can do it, but I don't charge anybody. And this guy was adamant. I'm assuming it's a guy. Was adamant that you know I charge people, and is this is an indictment of the public education system that somebody actually believes that people who donate according to their free will actually translates into being charged. People, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Okay, let's see. Who do we have here? We got my man, DJ MC, and Lisa Marie, California, checking in. By the way, you're both very close to the same area code. Thomas Jordan, what's going on, TJ? Steve and Chris, good to see you. Susie, what's going on, Susie? Dr. Susie. Dr. Susie. Dr. Seuss and Dr. Susie. By the way, full disclosure, I woke up a half hour ago. Just letting you know. I had a great night last night. I'll tell you about it. There she is, the lovely Natasha Lloyd, our resident ginger, makes Jen Psaki seem like a fake ginger. Natasha Lloyd is the real deal. She's the real deal. Carolina in the Pines, speaking of real deal, in the house. Andrea Garland. Good morning, Michael. I'm going to bring a call into you maybe today if I have some time. Check in with you guys. There's my man, Double M, Mark Matheny. Let's see. Who else do we have here? A full house today. PB, what's going on, Philip? Good to see you. Leon Luis. Hope you're doing well over there in Nottingham. The 1965 Bandit. Like that name. Beautiful here in Arizona. Good. You remember that song by Mark Lindsay? Formerly of Paul Revere and the Raiders, Arizona. He also did Cherokee Nation. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Couldn't have that name now for a band. I'm sure it would be considered racist. Ren Star, what's going on? Good to see you. Craig Corporon. Good morning. Kathy Werner Leap. Hello, Kathy. Nice to see you. Cindy. Hi, Cindy. My man, Ryan. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well back there. WC Ray. Because we are the young ones. I like that. That's good. Let's see. Pam Jerome. You must be freezing your tuchus off. Great day to be alive. Super cold. I bet you're freezing. I bet you're freezing your buns off, Pam. Double B, Beth Berry. There she is. Pete Freedom. Hi, Pete. Welcome to the show. There's Lils. Susan Cano from Berkeley, California. Susan Cano with that Mars in Scorpio. Ooh. Let's see. MK in the house. Laura D. What's going on, Laura? Double V. Victoria V. You did waffle toward the end of your last upload. Don't know what that means. Is that sound wise or position wise? Waffle. We had a big talk on waffles and pancakes. If you want to go back and check that out. That's actually an interesting discussion that we had. JMP Love, there she is, Jacqueline. Nancy Hardy, the lovely and talented Joan S. FUP77, alien answer, human question. Why? Why? Why, God, are you putting us through all these difficult situations? And why are we on the planet with all these morons? I hope there's an alien answer for a very human question. Christy Tesmer, another person hanging out in a very cold place. Turquoise Rose, hello. Snowing in Maryland. We're going to get some snow here in Texas next week. Christine Mose, hey, 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 my. Ian Barber, what's going on, Ian? Jackie Delario. It's getting harder to, what did hold on a second. Let's see. We got a lot going on here in chat. It's a fast-moving chat today. It's good. Thunder sleet last night. It's getting harder to rationalize and communicate with others. Oh, we are so fucked. We are so fucked. The grand experiment and the polarization, the mega polarization, is in full effect. There's no unity. There's no quality unity. It'd be nice, but there's it's not going to happen. The only way it'll happen is if there is a major natural disaster, or close encounter of the third kind. Let's see. There's Renee 10 Dragon, Miranda Couch, who's telling us about her thunder sleet. Lynn says, up at dawn for me, had a great sleep. There's Taffy Polensky. Hi, Taffy. I love that name, Taffy. I used to be into Taffy. Turkish Taffy. You remember Turkish Taffy? Yeah, we sound like a bunch of, you remember Turkish Taffy? Oh, yeah, that was such great shit. Rotted our teeth out, but I loved it. They had a banana flavor of Turkish Taffy. Who knows what they put in that thing, but I liked it. Have Q in the house. Tamara, hi Tamara. I got your email last night. Thank you for that. I will respond to that. Myra, hello Myra. 2 days in a row. Congratulations. Consistency is key. I try to practice that. Frank Bry, what's going on, Frank? I got a family who's thinking about moving up to Idaho, and if they get up your way, I'd love to put them in touch with you. There's my man, Uncle Glenn. What's going on, Mr. Glenn? Captain Glenn. Good to see you. Pink Kimmig, Houston. What's going on, Pink Kimmig? Good to see. There she is, my girl, the techno brat. Love Miss Emily Moyer. Nice to see you. Let's see, Kabuki Theater. Yes, that's where we are. All my Smokies went off in the house this morning. Low batteries. Oh. We're being drained. The planet is being drained of all its electricity. It's like a movie. It's like a science fiction film from the 1950s. An alien force draining the planet's power. Let's see. Hey, Nicholas, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. There she is, the lovely and intense Jennifer Fitzgerald. Fun story on Arizona song. Friend went all over town looking for the popular song. There is no one. He thought that is what they were singing back when 45s were the thing. People made a lot of money off of 45s back in the day. Let's see, who else do we have here? Let's see. Mia Widgical, Catacorn. Nice to see you. There's Tondar. Tondar! Me, Tondar! You woman! All right. Hey, there's my girl, Deirdre Jingleheimer Schmidt. Deirdre has volunteered her services and is going to be helping me with creating some very tasty video clips. Been in great connecting with her. Very unique person. Very unique person. And she's a Londoner. We have some interesting parallels with our experience. Nice to see you in chat, Dr. Deirdre. Let's see, John G in the house. Speaking of London, there's Ralph Winter. Good morning. Atlas, coming at you from California. We're definitely recalling Newsom. Yeah, it looks like it's going to happen. And let's see, what do we have here? Anybody else? Laurel, hey, Laurel, had a wonderful realization today. My houseplants are thriving. I think it's because they're getting so much carbon dioxide now since I'm home all the time. So you have the greenhouse effect. Well, that's not good because you'll be banned from your own home. There's too much CO2 in your own home. You have to wear a mask. You're going to have to cut that down. And the sad part is that that's probably true, that it'll come out. Steve Letro, all account says adding stime on taxes is nightmare. Double K, Catherine Kramer. Hi, Catherine. Nice to see you. And let's see, did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Oh, there's Steve. Steve, I'm going to give you a quick shout after the show today, if you're available. We need to catch up. Cindy Burton. Hi, Cindy. There's Z. You can now get busted for only one mask. This mask thing is getting out of control. We are in clown world. We're going to get into some of that today. Misty Miner kind of scrolled over you. Good morning to you. And Sandy M.I., Lion Witch Wardrobe. Turkish Taffy. Turkish Taffy was the thing. Julianne found out that if you need a visa to visit Canada, it is approved by the CCP in Beijing. Oh, does that surprise you? Remember when Hong Kong was given to the Chinese by the British government, by the Crown? Yeah. There are other places that the British government still has its hooks into, including more than likely this one. Now they're just ceding the deed to the CCP. What's going on, Joe Mama? Taking half day as my right hand is rather numb from power washing the house. Joe Mama, you are an inspiration to all of us. Total inspiration. Okay, I think we're good here. I think we're all present and accounted for. Remember when you would go to school in the morning, they'd call your name. You'd say, present, here. Those were the days. Those were so in a lot of ways, so completely innocent. Like, wow. When did the innocence end? I think the innocence ended partially in the 90s. The 90s were a very dark time for a lot of people. Very dark time. Although I had fun. So when Pluto and Scorpio began to make itself known, I had too much fun in the 90s. Benjamin Hunt is absent. Good for you. I never said that. That would have been a really good line. Sabrina C, good to see you. Yeah, the 90s were dark. Although I had way more fun than I should have in the 90s. I'll give you a little insight into my life in the 90s. From 1992 to 2000, I did not pay any rent. I basically lived rent-free for the entire decade. And that didn't mean I was living out of my car or living in state parks. I didn't have the van down by the river, although I did have a van and I did get on the road for a while. But I lived 8 years without paying any rent. And 8 years without doing a few other things, if you know what I'm talking about. I was off the grid while I was on the grid. That'll all come out in the autobiography. I think we got a quorum here. Same here, Robert. Michael, that's interesting. I was in college in the 90s. The 90s and 60s are my favorite decade. The 90s were intense. I had Pluto transiting my ascendant in the 90s. I got a lot of mileage out of that Pluto on my ascendant in Scorpio. Let me tell you, both good and bad. It was interesting because in the 80s, I had a really bright awakening, super, super bright awakening. You know, the 12 rays, and every day I was consumed with like doing God's will. I swear to God, I was like every day, I was always kind of running this program, which was, you know, am I doing the right thing? You know, am I close to God? You know, how can I get closer to God? It was a big deal for me in the 80s and for a long time in the 80s. And that began to sort of taper off towards the end of the 80s. And then in the 90s, and I had a lot of phenomena, a lot of things happened during the 80s, which were very interesting. And in the 90s, it was kind of the reverse. Not that I wasn't like interested in this idea or concept of God. I was just more, how should I say this? Learning about the darker side of things. I had the light moment, I had the dark moment, and then the 2000s working with the synthesis model. But I think it's really sort of come to fruition here in the 2020s and the 20s and the not so roaring 20s. I had a great conversation last night with our friend David Palmer, the Leo King. We were on the phone for 2 hours last night, and we had a great conversation. So here are the highlights of the conversation. I will be on David's show next week on Tuesday. So I'll be on his channel. And on the 21st, David will return to Sunday Night Astro Live, where we're going to just fucking kick some ass and take some names. Because as far as astrologers go, I think David and I are really we're the two outlaws when it comes to this world, this astrological world. And I love David. He's gone through so much in his life. I really respect that guy. That he's created kind of an empire with his astrology stuff. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And he comes at astrology with a passion, right? He's got that Leo sun passion on his ascendant. So we had a great chat last night. 2+ hours. Anyway, we're gonna be doing some stuff because it's now a time to, you know, we talked about this in the spirit of Aquarius, you know, to bond, join forces, and be able to kind of build out what we're doing with multiple kinds of nodes. And David is a really good guy in terms of working with other people, and you know, and for somebody who's a Leo, you know, a double Leo, and sharing the spotlight. So we had a great conversation, and I'm looking forward to being on his show on Tuesday, and then conversely, him being on my show on the 21st. So yeah, and we might even do a webinar together. So we had a great chat, totally great chat, and you know, David is really immersed in astrology. Like he breathes astrology. Like that guy breathes astrology. It is hardwired into his DNA. And I'm into astrology. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's been a huge part of my life since 2008, and it's an adjunct to a number of other things that I do. So, but it's great. It's great to be around that kind of passion and fire, and I'm looking forward to working with them. Iris, hey Iris, nice to see you. Welcome. I really like Eric Francis. Planet Waves is actually breaks down COVID virus really well. Full disclosure, I've never liked Eric Francis. Sorry. I'm sure he's probably changed a lot. I was not into him. He's an Aquarian, isn't he? I think he's an Aquarian. I was not into Eric Francis, and then my second day at Occupy Wall Street. I think it was my second day there. When I was there, he was there, and so I had this connection with him. And he didn't really know who I was, and that's okay. But I knew who he was, and so I actually interviewed him. He was okay. So I haven't checked out his stuff in a long time. I felt like he was more. But Jacqueline, you would get into the Aquarian side of him, I think. That's my take. Is Snake in the house? What's going on with Snake? Is he here? Here at the hospital. Oh boy. Jeez. I'd like to look at your chart. That would be interesting. David Palmer, my long lost twin brother. Emily, you're not the only person that said that, by the way. I used to read Eric, but he brought sex. Exactly. I think Eric Francis is a bit of a perv. I'm just being honest. Today's honesty day. I think he's a bit of a perv, and he used to talk about masturbation a lot. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? It means that he's probably either oversexed or doesn't have any real sexual intimacy. So masturbation. He brought up masturbation a lot. Am I right? He's a perv. I think Eric Francis is a perv. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But that doesn't mean that he can't break COVID-19 down. See, that's how life is sometimes. Life is not always a cookie cutter thing. Not everybody can fit into every single slot. Like I know that I don't fit into every single slot for people. It's like, oh, well, if he was just a bit more open about this, if he wasn't so dogmatic, if he wasn't so fixed on this thing, he'd be just fine. And I get that. Hello, Tina Zern. You're going to see your finger for the first time. Oh boy. Oh, so it's under wraps, and they're going to take the bandage off, and you're going to see your new friend. Etherically, your finger is still there. You guys ever read these stories where people will lose, like, let's say their forearm, and they have an itch where their forearm should be? Have you ever heard those stories? Etherically, they're still there. The limbs are still there. JMP says, no, I get that. He never talked about sensuality, but more about sex acts. He's an Aquarian. Everything is kind of conceptual with Aquarians. And don't get me wrong, I love every sign. I do not discriminate with signs. But Aquarians they're different. They're a different breed. I had a girlfriend one time who's an Aquarian with a Scorpio moon. She was fun. I liked her. Especially like that Scorpio moon. Wow. Okay, why don't we get going? We'll do the invocation here. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Thank you for being here today. It's always a great gift and blessing to be able to do this with y'all. Okay, here we go. Dear blessed and holy Mother, Father, God of the great central sun, within the universal light, which is the light of Yeshua, Sananda, Emmanuel, and all the great avatars who have been in our presence. We ask that only the highest and best truth, information, intelligence, and wisdom come through this channel for everyone watching in real time and or after the fact. And we affirm and decree the qualities of warmth and community, camaraderie, humor, compassion, empathy, another humor, because we need it twice. Strength, flexibility, fortitude, and above all, love. We ask that any karmic residue be cleansed, purified, clarified, and removed from this stream. Okay, let's get going. Let's do it. I have to take a deep breath. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in clown world. We are in clown world. And it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get better. We're going to, Joe Biden now is talking about, okay, you got to wear, Fauci's got to, you got to wear 2 masks. And the whole, let me show you how retarded the whole mask thing is. Sorry, this is not about retarded people, because we don't use that term anymore. They're developmentally disabled people. I should know, I worked with them. Let me show you this. This is from Henry Mackow's site. This will give you an idea as to where people are with this thing. Poll: Americans embrace permanent slave status. COVID proves that people are willing to forfeit their human rights, dignity, and freedom on the flimsiest of pretexts. We have been so degraded and our minds trivialized that we can't understand catastrophic historical change, let alone cope with it. Americans are willing to kneel in slavery to the ruling class long after the threat of COVID-19 is gone. Many will continue to be obedient to their masters, lick the hand that feeds them, and wear the ritualistic shame muzzle for the foreseeable future. Check this out. The Wexner Medical Center. Oh boy. One of the great patriarchs, one of the great philanthropists, Les Wexner. Researchers at the Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center polled more than 2,000 people across the country and found that most of those surveyed are okay with continuing many pandemic protocols for public health, even when COVID-19 is no longer a major threat. That includes wearing the shame muzzle. The survey was actually indicative of the ability to control and manipulate the public without having to use physical chains of slavery. The survey specifically found the following: 72% of people will still plan to wear masks in public. 80% will avoid crowds. 90% will frequently wash their hands and use hand sanitizer. That, by the way, is a Pharisaic ritual. The oppressive slave state rulers hope they have convinced people to hand over their liberties for a false sense of security. Dr. I guess that's Ian Gossenhauser. Sounds like a good Third Reich name, Fourth Reich name. Chief Quality and Patient Safety Officer at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, who helped conduct the survey, says he's hopeful that people will consider wearing masks during cold and flu season in the future. I am hopeful that our experience with the flu this year is enough of a learning and teaching moment that more people understand the impact we can make if we approach flu season differently in the future. The ruling class is laughing at us in chains we've fastened around our own necks. They didn't even have to lift a finger. People have become willing sheep. Some are waking up. However, it's just ridiculously slow process right now. Stay aware and use discernment. So this is from the Wall Street Journal. COVID-19 is likely here to stay. That does look like a fucking face diaper, doesn't it? That really is a face diaper. Acceptance is growing that coronavirus isn't a temporary problem. The pathogen will circulate for years, even decades, leaving society to coexist with COVID-19 as we do with flu, measles, and HIV. Well, all three of those things combined have not contributed to a decimation of society. No, we've actually been able to continue to live, breathe, shop, congregate, and do business with all three of those things. But now all of a sudden, this thing, and listen, there are people who have come down with this thing, Okay, I know people who've gotten sick. I know people and usually here's what happens. These are people with underlying conditions and or guess what? They are, and this is not a knock. I'm not being, I'm not body shaming or body slamming. The people who wind up coming down with COVID-19 or whatever this thing is, number one, a lot of them are overweight. Number two, there are the pernicious underlying conditions. There's a woman, bless her heart, she had the no smell, no taste, not doing well, okay? She's a diabetic and she's overweight. A friend of mine, if I talked to her, I would tell her that. Do the math, okay? Do the math. You put yourself at risk when you don't take care of yourself. And they never fucking talk about that. They never fucking talk about taking care of yourself. Never. They never talk about your diet, what you put in your body, supplements, which can be very helpful. And even here in this town, they're just quick to sign off on the vaccine. There's no talk of any other alternative treatments. By the way, I'm not a doctor. But there's never any discussion around that. It's just all corporate, top-down direction. And people are such good fucking slaves that they'll just follow it. They'll follow it. Yes, yes, yes. They don't want to stand out. In the case of the city council and the mayor and the city manager of this town, they get close to $700,000 of CARES money as long as we're in a state of emergency. I should play you some of those videos. I should play some of these videos. Let me see if I have them on my. I don't really enjoy making fun of people. I don't. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to kind of go there because, well, you just won't get a sense as to really kind of what you're up against. Let me play a few clips here of our esteemed city council. First of all, let me introduce you to Jerry Lukenbach. Now, Jerry is one of the original sons of this town. But let's just say Jerry's a little impaired when it comes to running meetings. I'm going to play 3 clips from Jerry. They're very short. They're about a minute apiece, maybe 2 minutes. And then I'm going to play you a couple of other clips from other members of the city council, just to give you an idea as to what they're addicted to. It's called money. They're not really into safety or care. They're just going to show their cards, lay them right on the table. I'm going to play a few of these clips. Okay, so let's play. Let's give you a little taste of Jerry Lukenbach here. Oh, you know what? I have to hold on a second. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the if I do video file, see what that is. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Which one is this? All right, here we go. We'll just start here. This is a new function here. Playing the video file right off of my.
With Tanya Benson.
Oh, this is hold on. Let me see here. Where we go? Okay. All right, there's Jerry, and I hope we get there's our mayor, our esteemed mayor, and we're going to go to. Let's just do this. Here we go.
So we'll start off with Tanya Benson.
Do we have to go into public comment?
No.
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 Okay.
Tanya?
So he says, do we have to go into public comment? That's not what he wants to hear. He doesn't want to hear about public comments. Oh no, not Jerry, not Jerry. So let's do this now. Let's do the stop share here, which I am going to try to do because I've never done this function. Let's see what we have here. All right, let me just do this. Okay, so let's do another. Do we have to go into public comment? He doesn't want to hear from people. He does not want to hear from people. So here we go. Here's another example.
Sorry, Jerry.
Here's another example of Jerry checking in with the rest of us. Here we go.
Well, I forgot to do it last time, so I'll bring it up this time. I went to the county commissioners and judges meeting, and after about 35 minutes, they talked about variances to some properties and hiring a couple of new people, and then they were just kind of sitting there. I said, well, you guys through in 35 minutes? And he goes, yeah, we're done. I said, well, damn, y'all got it easy. But anyway, it's different listening to that. And then Kent and I went and sat with the judge and Donnie Shue. Okay, Kent, I thought about it. What did we talk about there?
Well,
He can't even remember what they talked about. Oh, and here's the shark, Kent Myers, city manager. This guy is the shark. I've talked about him before. Part of a $1.15 million lawsuit, named along with another guy by the name of Glenn Cutler in Port Angeles, the city of Port Angeles, named in that lawsuit because they basically piled on this woman, Yvonne Ziemkowski, fired her, made her life a living hell. She hired a lawyer and she won. And then Mr. Kent Myers was lickety split out of Port Angeles. His next stop was right here. That was in 2012. No vetting, by the way, no vetting. He was involved in a major lawsuit, cost the city over $1 million. You know what his reply was? Oh, the insurance will take care of that. Oh, right. Where we heard that before? Anyway, Jerry doesn't remember what happened in the meeting. So he's got to have Kent remind him.
the mayor and Judge Strayer were with us also. We talked about the ball fields. We talked about hot funding and how we need to coordinate our schedule for hot funding. We talked about some of the roadway improvements, and it was just kind of a kickoff for 2021 and talk about different areas that the city and county needed to work together on. So I thought it was a positive meeting, good exchange of information.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I was thinking about how they
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, this man is in the throes of a deep spiritual crisis. I'm being human. Like, this is a guy that's in pain, but he doesn't want to be there, shouldn't be there, and he's actually causing more of a disturbance. And the reason he's there is because he is descended from one of the founding families in this town. But watch him.
They needed the fifth person for the airport board, and that was Greg Schnellgross was voted on to be the, what was it? He's kind of in charge. He's going to be in charge of that board.
Chairperson.
Yeah, chairperson.
That's Bobby Watson. Good old boy Bobby Watson. I remember when I first moved to this town. One of the first days I was here, I went to this place called Autos, and he was sitting down, and I knew that he was running for mayor. And I talked to him about a few things. I said, "So what's your platform?" He said, "Oh, I'm a conservative." What the fuck does that mean? You know, I'm into conservative values. If you're conservative, then you're not into spending money. Like, you're fiscally responsible. That has not been the case. And I'll tell you what this guy did. So we have an area outside of town called Boot Ranch, and it's a private gated community with a golf course, and they want to expand and they need more water. So Mr. Bobby lives in Boot Ranch. Now, let's rewind the tape. About a year ago, we had a referendum. It wasn't even a referendum, it was a vote. The city was expanding its historical district, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's really just an opportunity for them to gain more power over the people who make decisions around what they want to do with their homes. Because Fredericksburg is such a nice little Germanic town, they want to keep the flavor of the town, right? So this guy, Bobby, actually, when they had to have the vote, what did he do? He recused himself, which is probably not a bad thing because he's got an Airbnb inside the historical district. Okay, I get it. But your vote could have made a difference. Your vote could have tilted the decision. Now, when it came to the water in Boot Ranch, where he has a residence, did Mr. Bobby recuse himself for that? Oh, no. Oh, he was going to vote on that. You bet your ass he was going to vote on that. And he was going to vote for that water to be taken from the city, right, with the cost basically brought back onto the people who are actually paying for the water in the city, not Boot Ranch, which is outside the city. This is how local government works. I'll just finish this out.
There you go, Bob. Yeah, so that we went to that too.
Okay.
All right.
This guy is in a world of hurt. World of hurt. There you go, little peekaboo in the city government. So I'm this close to running for city council. Today is the last day to be able to apply, throw my hat into the ring. I'm very close, very close. I actually have had some support from a couple people. One of whom said that they would help me with my campaign. And I'm like, really? Wow, that's kind of interesting. So I'm really close. I'm on the fence. And if I get involved with that, it'll take up a lot of my time. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very close. Very close. All right. Sorry, little divergence there, but I just wanted to give you an idea as to what happens on the local level because these people, let me show you another clip. This is really what I wanted to show you guys. This is where they're at with COVID-19. Well, this is what Jerry has to say. This is the Jerry morning.
If not, if everybody's happy with that, I'll make a motion to waive the second reading and approve the
License agreement.
the contract that Andrea has put forth. I lost my page here.
So Jerry, are you saying adopt the license agreement for program providers at the pools and the new reservation rates?
You took the words right out of my mouth, Tom.
Thank you. Then I'll second. Then Holly can second that.
Okay. I have a motion from Jerry, I presume, and a second by Tom.
No, Polly.
Oh, I'm sorry, Polly. I missed it.
The guy couldn't even make up his own mind. He had to have the local socialist make up his mind for him. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here. It's a clown show. Which one is this one? Let me see this. Well, that's Kent Myers. And which one is this? Yeah, watch this. This is really what I wanted to show. This is about.
What I want to focus on is they can also.
This is about why they want to keep why they want to keep the emergency declaration in place. Watch this.
This formally requests general assistance from state and federal governments. If the local disaster order is removed, the city of Fredericksburg would no longer be formally asking for assistance from the state and federal government. After termination, we may not receive future state and federal funding, so that if there was more funding available like the CARES Act, the city may be removing themselves from being able to receive that if they do go out of the state of disaster.
If we took steps and staged it to where we would eliminate the local mask mandate and strictly fall under the GA 29, what would be different?
There would be nothing different. Like I said, the big difference in the two mandates is the local one puts a lot of emphasis on the business owner, where the state one puts all of the responsibility on the individual person.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. That helps. I know we can't do anything about San Antonio, and we can't do anything about the governor's order, but I'm thinking if we could use these metrics to put together our own emphasis on communication, education, getting people to volunteer to go in and get those vaccines, so that we can create that immunity level that we need in that at-risk population. That's something we can work on. And that may allow us to at least look at alleviating our own local mask mandate once that population is fairly secure. And based on your numbers, we're looking at somewhere out 13 to 15 weeks out. We might be able to consider voiding our own local mask mandate and just going with the GA 29 version, which puts the responsibility on the individual and releases our businesses from their responsibility. I don't see us getting rid of the disaster declaration because of the financial and federal and state support aspects of that. I don't see that that's going to go away until the federal and state support goes away.
Jerry?
Okay. As far as this disaster declaration, do I get it right that if we get rid of it, then we lose the state and federal funding?
That is a possibility, yes, sir.
And then you can't get it back, or how do you get that back?
You'd have to go back into a state of disaster, but that time that you were out of it, there would be no, you could lose money if it was during that time, in that time frame that you were out of the disaster.
Okay. I don't think we want to do that.
Oh no. Don't want to lose that
Okay,
money.
no, that's all question I had to Charlie.
I think we need to do our homework like Polly has said and look at the different metrics. I also agree with Tom. I think we need to be very conservative of what we do. I certainly don't believe we need to
He's a conservative.
eliminate the disaster relief at all.
Oh, no.
I think we need to be cautious in making changes to our mask mandate. We still have a number of people testing positive.
They have no clue about. They have no clue about
It's been since March, since we've been dealing with this pandemic, and it doesn't appear that it's ending anytime soon.
Because they don't want it to end.
Don't think we need to rush to get out of it. So, or out of being cautious and.
Do that. We don't want to rush to get out of it. Oh, of course not. You're going to get that money.
Trying to prevent the pandemic from spreading in our community.
Thanks, Bobby. Jerry?
No, I agree with what Tom and Polly and Buddy have said there. I think we need to look at it. I mean, if the numbers are starting to come down some, something's working, and I think we need to just stay where we're at and get the vaccines out and get them vaccinated and go ahead and like.
These are the people that make decisions for the rest of us on a local level. They're misinformed. They are mentally, psychologically, emotionally impaired. Okay, that guy's a danger. He is a danger to the rest of the people in this town. He can barely fucking complete a coherent sentence, let alone render judgment on one of the greatest threats to privacy and freedom and prosperity we've ever faced as a nation and a world. And these are the people that are pulling the levers on this stuff. So do you see what they did? Oh, we don't want to lose the funding. There's no discussion. Hey, look, we need to talk about how this is affecting our young people. We need to talk about how it's affecting not just our young people in schools, but how is it affecting young people in terms of their private lives, in terms of things like intimacy, mixing socially, you know, the things that happen so that we can continue to have a society where people can actually meet and bond and have families together. Like none of that is ever talked about. There's no social context with any of this. None. And this is why I have considered actually throwing my hat into the ring. Very close. All right, let's get up. Let's take it up a few levels. And it's always nice to have a little Schadenfreude. You know, Schadenfreude, being able to celebrate and luxuriate in somebody else's troubles. It's a cheap high. It's a very cheap high. It's sort of like the I don't know. It's sort of like the dextromethorphan MD 2020, the cough syrup, right? With dextromethorphan, it's like a dextromethorphan and a Colt 45 kind of high. People used to down these bottles of cough syrup with dextromethorphan, and then they would drink like a 16-ounce malt liquor and hallucinate. No, I've never done it, and that's true. I've never done it because it's a little bit desperate for a cheap high. But that's like Schadenfreude. So let's just indulge in a little Schadenfreude today. I'm okay with it because the guy is such a douche that, and I'm sure some of you have seen this. Scorn in the USA. Jeep pauses Bruce Springsteen ad campaign after drunk driving charge. Bruce Springsteen got popped for a DWI. He got popped for DWI. Jeep has officially paused its Bruce Springsteen ad campaign that ad during the Super Bowl. Following the revelation that the pro-Biden rock singer was arrested for drunk driving in November. Well, November is quite a while ago. A spokeswoman for Jeep confirmed to CNBC that the entire campaign is on hold. It would be inappropriate for us to comment on the details of a matter we have only read about and cannot substantiate, a Jeep spokeswoman said in a statement to the cable network. But it's also right that we pause our big game commercial until the actual facts can be established. Its message of community and unity is as relevant as ever, as is the message that drinking and driving can never be condoned. The commercial debuted Sunday during the Super Bowl 55 broadcast and has been seen by millions of viewers on YouTube. On Wednesday, the commercial was pulled from YouTube and other online platforms after news broke about Springsteen's arrest. New Jersey authorities confirmed Wednesday that Springsteen was arrested in November and faces charges including DWI, reckless driving, and consuming alcohol in a closed area. This is really interesting. This part I found to be interesting. I mean, him getting popped, that's okay. I'm not getting a big buzz off of it. Whatever. The arrest took place at the Gateway National Recreation Area in Sandy Hook. Yeah, there's more than one Sandy Hook. Isn't that interesting, though? It took place in Sandy Hook, New Jersey. That's some synchromysticism happening right there. What is the Logos trying to reveal in that moment? I wonder. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has blasted state authorities for failing to reveal the arrest prior to the Super Bowl on Sunday. They've known about it since November, when tens of millions of football fans saw the high-profile commercial. The advocacy group said that many victims of drunk driving deserve better. Here's the Schadenfreude. It represented a change of tune for the singer who repeatedly trashed Donald Trump during last year's presidential race, saying that he would leave the country if the president were reelected. None of these people left the country. They just decided to make our experience as difficult and as uncomfortable as possible so that we would leave the country. Didn't really happen. The rocker also teamed up with left-wing activist and novelist Dawn Winslow on a viral video that used the discredited suckers and losers story from The Atlantic to smear the president. Jeep hyped the commercial in the days leading up to the Super Bowl, with numerous news outlets promoting the spot in advance of the broadcast. Bruce Springsteen performed last month during the 78-year-old Joe Biden's primetime inaugural celebration, singing Land of Hopes and Dreams. Another fucking phony. You know, Bruce Springsteen actually, I want to play this commercial, so I need to go back. I need to, there's Tim Pool. It's Tim Pool all the time. I need to go back and activate the audio on this thing. I've never actually seen the commercial, by the way, because I didn't watch the Super Bowl. But let's hear this landmark in advertising. The middle. Here we go.
There's a chapel in Kansas, standing on the exact center of the lower 48. It never closes. All are more than welcome to come meet here in the middle. It's no secret. The middle has been a hard place to get to lately, between red and blue, between servant and citizen, between our freedom and our fear. Now, fear has never been the best of who we are.
Where's his mask? He's not wearing a fucking mask.
And as for freedom,
where's the mask for the horse? Horse needs a mask too.
It's not the property of just the fortunate few. It belongs to us all. Whoever you are.
No mask there.
Wherever you're from.
Is that vodka?
It's what connects us. And we need that connection. We need the middle. We just have to remember the very soil we stand on is common ground. So we can get there. We can make it to the mountaintop, through the desert, and we will cross this divide. Our light has always found its way through the darkness. And there's hope on the road up ahead.
Yeah, it's called the quick stop, where you can pick up a fifth. This is such bullshit. This is just such bullshit. The Red Star is communist. Jeep played a major role in the election of Joe Biden. They provided all the fake Jeeps. Well, I guess they were real Jeeps, but fake people during Biden's victory speech, which was basically green screened and on a set lot somewhere. So Jeep has played a very, very important role in the Biden presidency. Bruce Springsteen you got busted. It's a thing. I mean, he's born on September 23rd, 0 degrees Libra, so he's trying to find that balance. He's trying to find the middle. But God forbid you speak out against the middle or the perceived middle, which has really moved way over to the left. Let me show you somebody who has suffered at the hands of the cancel culture police. I find this to just be so fucking ridiculous. Just so ridiculous. Let me see if I can, got to tee this thing up. Hold on. Wow, there's a huge pileup in Texas. Huge. Let me see. I want to use this source. This is interesting. I don't want to go there. Sorry, I'm sort of lost in reading this story. Let me find the one that I want to search out here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. So Gina Carano is the daughter of Glenn Carano. And she lost her gig. I'm gonna get into this for a second. Hold on. I have to find the right story here. Here we go. All right, this is what I wanted to. So it's interesting that one of the kind of main outlets, whatever. One of the main outlets for this, for a lot of this information, has been the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail. And I say this information. This is okay. Here we go. I found what I was looking for. I'm talking about information around woke culture. Right. The Daily Mail has become sort of this de facto Lugenpress. So this is the story I want to get into. It's just fucking ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as all the ads that pop up here. Right-wing Mandalorian star Gina Carano is fired from the series over abhorrent Instagram post comparing Nazi murders of Jews to hating someone for their political views. I don't find anything wrong or off about her analogy. Let's get into this. Actress and former MMA fighter Gina Carano has been fired from the cast of Disney's Star Wars series The Mandalorian following online outrage over a social media post that likened the murder of Jews during the Holocaust to the current U.S. political climate. A spokesperson for Lucasfilm said in a statement on Wednesday that Carano is not currently employed by the production company with no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their culture and religious identities are aberrant and unacceptable. All right, let's really drill down to what she says here. Talent agency UTA has also dropped Carano as a client following controversy, according to Variety. Carano fell under heavy criticism after she posted on Instagram stories that Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Is this historically incorrect? The post continued because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? I don't see any problem with this statement. I don't see where like the uproar is erupting. Like what? Basically, she's making a case that in order for this is about cultural Marxism, right? This is how they infiltrate institutions. Doesn't matter if you're a Nazi or you're a commie or you're a socialist or you're a new Schwabian totalitarian technocrat. This is what you do, right? You invade the cultural institutions, i.e. the people, and then you begin to program the people so that they will work for the system, the prevailing system. I don't understand how or why that is inflammatory towards so-called Jews. I just don't. She's basically saying that the Nazis got their people, like the people in Germany, to basically turn on the Jews. And once that happened, then the soldiers followed. I mean, I don't think there's anything probably historically incorrect about that. Carano, who played the recurring character Cara Dune on the Star Wars series, deleted the post, but it was widely shared online and spurred the Fire Gina Carano hashtag to trend. Her character appeared in several episodes of the second season of The Mandalorian. See, blah, 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 blah. She also had a thing with the mask. Carano, former mixed martial artist, whose Dune character used a mix of heavy weapons and her fists to best opponents, have been criticized online for social media posts. In some, she mocked mask wearing during the pandemic and promoted claims of voter fraud during the 2020 presidential election. You cannot go there now. These are the views that will get you canceled if you have a prominent social position. On Wednesday, before the news of her termination was announced, Carano posted a picture of her Instagram story that included the phrase, Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay, so basically, she's been red-pilled. She also mocked the use of gender pronouns, listing beep, bop, boop in her social media bio after some expressed outrage that she did not list any pronouns in her bio. Last month, Carano opened up about facing backlash from the Star Wars community over her conservative and anti-mask tweets amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The actress spoke with YouTuber Drunk 3PO in a candid interview about her controversial social media presence. People need to be okay with having conversations, she told the host, with having difficult conversations. Yes, you're right. With having different opinions. Isn't that where you find the fucking middle? You have a difficult conversation. Isn't that where the middle is? Somebody's presenting a point of view that's difficult, and then you sort of sort it out and try to find that elusive middle that Bruce Springsteen is chirping about on that commercial. What's wrong with having a different opinion? Yeah, what is wrong with having a different opinion? Well, what's wrong is that if your opinion dissents from the opinion, the approved opinion of the Vox Populi, you can't have that opinion. She continued, why does everybody have to go to straight demoralizing? Because maybe they just didn't think the way you did. I like this woman. They're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio, beep, bop, boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. We need to clean up the election process so we're not left feeling the way we do today. Put laws in place to protect us against voter fraud. Investigate every state. Film the counting. Flush the fake votes. Require ID. What's wrong with this? These are reasonable, logical ideas and thoughts. Now recommends we all wear blindfolds along with masks so we can't really see what's going on. I think that's funny. In a world where everyone wears a mask, it's a privilege to see a soul. Like, this woman should get a fucking medal. She shouldn't be canceled. It's ridiculous. I'd love to have her on the show. So I have a buddy who works at HEB, and he's a good guy. I think sometimes he actually watches this show. Anyway, I ran into him last night as I was exiting the store. He was just getting off, and he had his groceries. So we talked for a while in the parking lot, and this is what he told me. Because he's there, he's on the floor, he sees all these people. And he said that there are people who he sees with the mask, and they're like digging it. They're happy. They're like striding through the store, you know, like the March of the Tin Soldiers. And and this is his perspective, and I think it's mine too, that they don't want it to go back. They like the fact that they have a purpose. They like the fact that all of a sudden now their lives have meaning. See, this is really the crux of it all. For most people, their lives are devoid of meaning. Devoid of meaning. They don't have a church that they go to. And I'm not saying that you have to go to church, but for some people, it's a big deal. For my mother, it's a big deal. It provides her with a community. It provides her with a sense of purpose. She gets to do altar guild and all that stuff. So she's got something in her life, right? So these are people that don't have that. Maybe their families have been atomized, and maybe they have, you know, crappy jobs where they have to kind of exist to get a paycheck. Maybe their relationships are not really meaningful, that there are two people working together to build something. So meaning and purpose has been completely gutted. And now all of a sudden we have this wartime effort, because that's really what it is. It's like a wartime effort. We're in it together. This is a Rosie the Riveter kind of moment where everybody's doing their share to defeat this monster that's been unleashed upon us. That's what it is. They've created purpose and meaning, a raison d'etre for people in their lives, whose lives are otherwise, unfortunately, quite meaningless. And they found something. And they are the frontline defenders against people that want to remove the meaning, remove the purpose, remove the sense of community. That's that false Aquarian kind of community that is generated through their affiliation with the Brotherhood of the Mask. It's become a cult, and they're members of the cult, and the cult has purpose and meaning. This is what's happened. And now they will defend that purpose and meaning with every single ounce of energy and fiber of their being, but never in public. They will never do it in public. They'll always do it behind closed doors. They'll always call somebody up. They'll always rat somebody out. There'll be some group that will descend upon a business or an individual, and it is the cancel culture mob, and it is really dangerous. It is pitchforks and torches in the virtual world. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to David yesterday, because he's been experiencing some real blowback politically from his stance and his views, because he's not like other astrologers. And, you know, his people, or the people that watch him, I think they're a bit of a different mix than the people that there's some crossover, obviously. Obviously, there's crossover. But I'm sure that there's a portion of his audience that would never watch me. Never. And it's the portion of that audience that has turned on him. So he's been experiencing some of this on his own. Luckily for him, actually, he's smart. He went out and he created his own platform. So he's kind of bulletproof in that way, which is smart. All right. I'm about ready to get out of here, but I'm going to play a video. It was requested that I play a video by this artist, who, by the way, has had his music taken down by iTunes. Tom McDonald. The video is called Fake Woke. I became aware of it about 3 weeks ago. So I'm going to play it. David is smart. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I totally think Robert should stay under radar in stealth mode. If he goes into politics, the Karens and Keiths will dox him. He'll regret it. My 2 cents. You're not the only person that said that. You know what? I don't really care. I don't really care. Look, I've been through shit. Let me tell you. I've been through shit that most people don't know about. I don't talk about it. I can't talk about it, but I've been through shit. I've been through things that, other people would find paralytic in my life. And it's really because I'm a fucking Scorpio rising and I've got a Saturn Pluto trine in my chart that allows me to get through a lot of this stuff. So if anybody has a scaly enough hide, it's me. I could probably get through it. Not that it wouldn't be easy, because I'm sure I'd have to take on some flack. I'm sure I'd have to. But the good news is that Mars is about to move into Gemini. And I could really piggyback on that energy. Trust me. I could piggyback on that shit. Mars trining Mercury, Mars trining my moon, Mars trining Venus, Mars sextiling Uranus. I think I could make good use of Mars. Mars trining, transiting Saturn, Jupiter. Oh yeah. In Gemini. Mm-hmm. I think I can do okay with that. All right, let me play you Tom McDonald, and I'm going to get out of here. Tom McDonald is an interesting young man. He just came across my screen a couple of weeks ago, and his new track, Fake Woke, it's actually quite good. It's so good that iTunes dropped it. So here we go. Here's Tom McDonald and Fake Woke. This was a request, by the way, and I was going to play it, but the request sort of sealed the deal. Here we go. Tom McDonald, Fake Woke. Here we go.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children, we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now. The planet went crazy. Labeled everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe songs. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor because he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't Tell me what to believe in. Ain't so fake, oh, same old, same song. Stay so fake mode. Facts don't care about your feelings. We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy. Say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same songs. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Tom McDonald, fake woke. Now, if Bruce Springsteen really wanted to get in the middle, he would do like a mashup with Tom McDonald. That's what he would do. Hey, Tom, let's do something together. Let's meet in the middle. What do you say? What do you say, brother? And I don't think that's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Gen Z has arrived. I think we can clearly see what their social imprimatur is about. Millennials, you got a handful on your hands with this generation coming up behind you. They are not very apologetic. I'll tell you that right now. Tom McDonald, there you go, fake woke. All right. Reminds me of Immortal Technique. Look at that, Uncle Glenn dropping a little Immortal Technique on us today. Glenn, you are lit, brother. Let's see, New Reality, my QAnon fever broke. I am now watching CNN. Laugh out loud. Oh, God. Make sure you take some hydroxychloroquine. X and Z got this. Okay, X and Z. Would love to see his chart. I'd love to have him as a guest on the show. That would be kind of cool. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and being a part of today's show. You can hit the like button, share the video. I did have a link on the page to, support the show, donate if you like. I'll put it back up there. I didn't do it because today I literally just got out of bed, got some coffee, and started streaming. It happens that way sometimes. All right, love to all of you. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart to stay open to what's possible. Bye for now. And I'm off. Stay warm. It's cold out there. Take care.